DM, Angelo Zhu, Joseph Ferruz, Billy Altiers, Nick Miller back into the starting lineup, and Simone Ajable. For the 2, 6, and 3 Bulldogs, led by the 5K Coral head coach Kylie Stannard. Meanwhile, for Dartmouth, a couple changes to their starting lineup from the victory at Columbia. One of them was out of necessity. A red card was issued to Alexi Uno, their stalwart defender, so he cannot play today. It was 2 yellows he picked up. So the 2 changes in the lineup. Sam Fenton comes to fill his spot. Will Lolka also into the starting lineup as Ollie Spencer comes off for Dartmouth. He'll come in off the bench. But the loss of Uno certainly will be noticeable for Dartmouth. He's played more minutes than any other Big Green.
Yeah, Uno has been absolutely a stalwart, a steadfast installment in the back line, leading the team in minutes, as you said. And, you know, I kind of felt like watching that game last week that it was a second yellow card he really didn't need to get. You know, the Columbia attacker had gotten in behind him, and he reached out and grabbed him by the hips. And the referee has no choice but to go to the pocket at that point. You're already on a yellow card, and it's going to be costly for him. This is a game he does not want to miss.
Coincidentally, for Yale, this is the second time they've hosted a team from the state of New Hampshire, the Granite State, this year. They hosted UNH earlier in the year, and UNH was also missing a starter from that game due to a red card. This goes out for a goal kick for Yale. The Bulldogs wearing their gray alternate jerseys, and Conrad Lee has been excellent in net for Yale this season. The .739 save percentage, 45 saves, more than that, but he's been terrific.
And if a penalty kick were to be called today, Jacob, I would probably actually put money on him saving it.
He's been terrific when it comes to PKs as Yale tries to spring Meacham down the left wing. Brilliant first touch off his peck, cuts back, lost his footing, and Dartmouth comes away with it. That's their co-captain James Wilson, number 17 for the Big Green.
That's going to be a fun matchup all night.
Owen Bull wins possession in the middle of the pitch for Yale. Meacham presents those right midfielders with a real challenge no matter who's playing, but Wilson is a terrific, experienced veteran on that side.
Wilson, just a really smart player, very good on the ball, and also just incredibly athletic. So, you know, I could see his assignment potentially be to neutralize Meacham tonight.
Meyerson across, no one there at the far post for Yale. We've already seen a decent amount of grappling between these two sides. Ivy League play, you expect physicality. And in a bit of a smaller playing field like we have here at Reese Stadium, you anticipated even more so.
Also, if you think back to last year when these two teams met, a 4-0 win for Dartmouth back at their place, I would think that Yale is going to have a bitter taste in their mouth when they see these green jerseys. And maybe just ramp up the intensity that little bit more.
This is a Dartmouth program that this season they're 2-4-3, 1-2-0 in Ivy League play. Their only road victory of the season, again last weekend in New York City against the Lions. But they've allowed a few over 2 goals per match. And for the Dartmouth Big Green, we haven't really mentioned it yet, but this season has always been a question of who will start in goal. And the answer today for Dartmouth is TJ Jeffries, the first year from Naples. Makes his 3rd start of the season. He started against Columbia. He's young, still trying to find his collegiate footing, but he came up with some really timely saves against Columbia.
Yeah, Dartmouth kind of starting out the season leaning a little bit more on Konstantinos Dellis, the 6'5" sophomore. But Jeffries coming in and doing well enough to earn the trust to continue to get the roll between the pipes. And I think that match against Columbia kind of told the story of a goalkeeper who is really looking to claim this spot. Maybe doesn't have a firm grasp on it yet, but he came up with some massive saves in incredibly difficult moments. Showed a little bit unsure on some of the crosses, which I'm sure that the Yale scouting team saw that, and they'll be looking to test Jeffries tonight on some aerial services. But, you know, a couple of breakaways where Columbia could have gotten right back in that game, and Jeffries came out quickly, stood big, and really shut that down.
Set piece for Dartmouth from the far wing. Lee comes out, gets a fist to it, working through contact, but Dartmouth still has possession in the far channel. That's a deflected cross, and now the Big Green get a different type of set piece. This one's a corner kick.
Yale tends to do pretty well dealing with opponents with a couple of big targets, but when you look at the Dartmouth, their starting lineup, I think their average height is 6'4". Right? There's just so many big bodies to deal with there, and Lee had to reach out over a big crowd to make not a convincing clearance, but at least got that out.
And it's part of Dartmouth's recruiting is getting some physical players. You need that in the Ivy League, as this will go through untouched. And there's a Dartmouth player down right now inside the box.
Arbahar.
Slowly able to get to his feet now. You got to see our center referee in that picture, and that is Carlos Fernandez. Giovanni Labor, John Fontes are the ARs tonight, with Danny Marks as the fourth official.
So Danny Marks gets to stand between these two head coaches for the next 90 minutes and hear their thoughts.
Physically, it's not as demanding a job as being an AR or center ref. Emotionally, well, a little more challenging, because that's all your primary role of the fourth official. Handle those emotions. Thus far, both these teams trying to find their footing through the first 6 minutes. No glorious opportunities for either side.
No, I think chances are going to be at a premium tonight. I think we're going to be treated to an exciting match of soccer. I don't expect this to be a high-scoring affair. I expect the ball to spend a lot of time in between the two 18s. We'll have to cherish the moments when it gets into the final third.
Farouz with a little shove there. And now Zoo takes it centrally. Working through some challenges, he finds Joseph Farouz. Meacham on his left, that's where he plays it. Sven Meacham, first time cross, headed just wide. Simone Ojable had the right idea, couldn't not direct it on frame. Well, for Dartmouth, their Bobby Clark head coach of men's soccer, Bo Oshani, he said that this match would be decided inside each 18th. And that was a chance for Yale. Ojable got good positioning, but it is a challenging finish in the end. You have to make the most of those opportunities, as here's Ojable once more. Gets through Zoo, lots of contact there, and the foul is called against Dartmouth.
It's good work from Simone Ojable. We've seen a lot of Sebi Roy up top in the last couple of games, and he's done admirably there. Ojable has played as a target forward at times in his career here at Yale, and loved that entry pass in from Meyerson, but credit to Ojable checking back to the ball and then just controlling it. And then he gets this foul. Dangerous free kick for Yale in this just outside the 18.
That shoulder from Sebastian Magnon, one of the co-captains, looked to be a little up high on Ojable. So it'll be a three-person wall for Dartmouth set up by T.J. Jeffries. Meacham takes so many of Yale's set pieces. He's excellent with both feet, but especially the left.
This one really more opportune for a right footer.
Billy Altiers is the right-footed option. He strikes it towards the back post. It's over everyone.
Yeah, Yale hasn't quite figured out yet this year who's going to strike their right-footed set pieces. And so, you know, if that were set up on the other side, on the opposite side, we all know Meacham's going to whip that ball in. Altiers had the right idea there, just not quite able to get it on the line he needed.
We mentioned T.J. Jeffries. The big saves he had against Columbia were vital to not just Dartmouth winning that match, but also to T.J. getting another start. It's been a position of uncertainty this year.
That's the kind of trajectory that he's on now. If he has a clean and sharp evening tonight, that'll be his spot for the rest of the season. If not, then it might open the door.
Yep, and that's how this role has played out this season. We should note that Dartmouth has had quite a few handful of games at this point where they've had Both goalkeepers, Konstantinos Delis and TJ Jeffries, each play halves. That's not the plan for today. They want Jeffries to play all 90. And Yale is trying to threaten him as Nick Miller has it in the right wing. Lays it off to the captain, Diego Zaffanella. Moving it forward towards Altiers. He was stymied by the Dartmouth defense, but Yale has it right back.
That was Opangawosu, just fully aware of how active Billy Altiers is. Just had a good grab of his arm. Wasn't allowing him to get any momentum.
Dartmouth heads it to the wing. Long diagonal play towards the other side of the box. Conrad Lee will go get there for Yale. Feels like the Bulldogs are starting to establish a little bit in the midfield as we're just over 10 minutes gone by now. Forward towards Ojable, the Great Neck, New York native. Closely defended. Leaves it off to Meacham, and now Yale will swing it left to right. Dartmouth got there first, and the Big Green play it up the corridor. Now it comes to the near side for Dartmouth. Long vertical ball, springs Wilson. Meyerson closely defending him. The end result is a corner kick for Dartmouth. It's now the second corner for the Big Green. They haven't had a ton of chances to get down that side of the pitch. And although Andrew Meyerson, the transfer from Duke, probably didn't agree with the call, again, these are the important moments in a match like this, at least the way we expect it to go. Who can win in the 18s? It's Will Lolka, the junior from New York City, preparing this corner kick. Left-footed ball, in swinging towards the back post. Ricocheted off ahead, and it goes out for a throw-in for Yale. It's a very good ball by Will Lolka. Put it in a great spot, Sean.
Yeah, you do sometimes wonder, though, when you set up to hit the ball to the far post, everybody knows where the ball's meant to go, and you don't have anyone beyond that far post target. Always kind of has irked me. It irks a lot of coaches over the years.
Well, you see oftentimes teams will have a player centrally off the 18-yard box in case something gets punched out. They can recycle it. And what you're saying is they didn't have that option on the far side to do that again. That'll be a goal kick for the Bulldogs with 32-26 to go in this first half. Conrad Lee has been such an influential part to Yale's season this year. We figured, let's show the stats again, because without Lee, this season's probably a whole different vibe for Yale. Yes, the record is not where they want to be, but the goal differential would be massively different without some of the performances that he's put out.
Yeah, I mean, the team has really tightened up as the season has worn on, but he's been one element of that that's been solid from the very start.
Well, and Yale had to rebuild a lot of their back line, too. When this season started, Diego Zaffanella was at a center back. You had Meyerson, the transfer from Duke, Nick Miller, Meacham, Owen Bull, all these guys trying to adjust to new roles and also just new partnerships on the back line.
Absolutely. Now, the Yale rebuild has been very apparent in the last month. Always tough to lose that many players from your starting lineup, and the number of first years and sophomores out there is really encouraging for the future of the program.
Free kick was taken by Panayotis Karayorgis. Yorgis, excuse me.
That's a plural.
Yes, my bad. I was thinking singular. Zoo to Meacham down the wing. Hammers one across the box.
That's an inviting ball. Just would love to see Ojable. No criticism of him there, but you're seeing a service like that, you just want to see someone run through it.
when that ball first bounced off the foot of Meacham, it was like both the ball and Ajable were on parallel curves. Simone not able to get on the proper angle. Meacham lays it off Teague McCammon, but Dartmouth take it away. Sprinting down the pitch, it's Ben Bilden who receives it off the 1-2. Bilden wears a solid challenge from Owen Bull.
That's a big tackle from Bull.
It certainly looked like Andrew Meyerson came over with a little emotion afterwards, not just for his teammate, but also for the Dartmouth Big Green.
Yeah, he's got to be a little careful with that. You get a tackle like that, you go ahead and celebrate.
That first part's fine, yep.
But the standing over your opponent part, that's a good way to find yourself in the book needlessly. You get a yellow card for that, and now you've got to defend the whole rest of the game on a yellow.
Meyerson got away with it, though, as Wilson takes the throw in deep. Yale hammers it out. And that's cleanly picked off. Zoo rides a challenge, draws a foul.
Well, the temperature's starting to rise a little bit out there, I think. Maybe a little retribution for that tackle from Bull. Bull's tackle totally clean, but anytime you see your player taken out like that, you feel like some contact is due. I think that's the conversation that's going on right now between Magnon and our center official, Carlos Fernandez.
You get a look at Bo Oshani, the head coach for Dartmouth in his 7th year, the 11th head coach at Dartmouth. We had the pleasure to talk with him twice this week, and just a wonderful man to speak with, both about soccer and not about the pitch as well.
Bo Oshani is an absolute legend in these parts. Goalkeeper back in the day for Southern Connecticut. Won several national championships.
Two-time All-American, and then he went and played pro. Was drafted in the inaugural MLS draft by the Columbus Crew.
Yeah, played very well with the Kansas City Wizards. Well-loved in goalkeeper circles, well-loved in coaching circles.
McCammon, room to shoot, but he could not twist his body around.
Never looked like it was headed on frame there, but why not? Everybody's backing up.
It was like his prior touch just meant he could not twirl his foot around that soccer ball. Teague McCammon isn't one who tends to get up offensively a ton.
No.
Typically very comfortable in that DCM role.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a good strike from distance, though. To your point, though, just mechanically not set up to really get his leg through that one. You're right. The shots he does tend to get are second balls, fellas that haven't been cleared well enough.
Dartmouth might be in here. First time volley is at Conrad Lee on a couple of hops. Looks like Douglas Arvahar, the junior from Sweden, had a rip.
Yeah. Arvahar, a bit of a half chance there just on the turn on the volley. He would have had to hit an absolute worldie to beat Lee from there, but why not have a go?
We had to prepare in case it was SportsCenter Top 10, because if he was striking that and it went in, you would have seen it on ESPN tomorrow. Ajable wears the shove, no contact, or no call, excuse me. There certainly was contact. Now Magnon plays it to the wing. Kohler back to Magnon. Magnon back to Hudson Kohler. Works it to Benny Rolamullis. Down to the left. It's Karayorgis, and he plays it ahead. Off the chest and cleared out by Yale. Dartmouth haven't had quite as many glorious opportunities in the box as Yale has had.
No, but they are growing into the game, and sometimes that's the way to approach it. You know, Yale came out looking very poised, very well organized, had a couple of decent chances to start the game. This is their home turf. You expect them to be a little bit more comfortable at the first whistle. Dartmouth did well to ride through that and is growing their influence on the match as it wears on.
Long diagonal towards Zoo. but it's too close to Jeffries, and he handles with no trouble. That is something to keep an eye on for Yale, is they love Sven Meacham and what he brings on the left wing. That right side, they have to make sure to at least go down that channel occasionally to keep the defense honest.
And you know what's interesting is quite the opposite. Dartmouth loves this right side. So in the first half, we're going to be up close and personal with all of the action. On the second half, it might all be on the other half of the field.
Ajable ahead to Meacham. Rolls it across. It goes all the way through, and Farouz could not reach back and claim it. Joseph Farouz, extremely talented player. Lots of quality when the ball's on his foot. Here's Altiers. Now some time for Meyerson. Fake to try from distance. And plays it to his right.
Well, underlapping run from the center back. Don't see that often. Now he's back on the wide part of the field on the right.
But here's Zoo in a more back roll for Yale as Meyerson stubbed that pass towards Zoo, and Dartmouth able to take possession. Double team game, no troubles though for Arvahar. Here's Jeffries. That is something to keep an eye on, his just distribution out of the back for the Big Green goalkeeper. Certainly something that his coaching staff wants to see improvement on as Jeffries' career goes along. Owen Bull fires one ahead. Nick Miller trying to get there. He could not. It's a goal kick.
Yeah, I mean, maybe slightly overhit, but I would have really honestly expected Miller to get onto that. What a weapon. I mean, this is what you need to do as the season goes on. You find who you want your partnerships to be. You see Coach Stannard down there. I think what this gentleman on camera has done a great job is figuring out who the partnerships are going to be and figuring out what makes each of them special.
Okay.
Owen Bull filling in as a center back. Well, you know, one of the things that he can do as a attacking player for much of his career prior to Yale is that guy can pick out a pass, and it looks like he can hit him from 70 yards as well. So both he and Meyerson excellent with those long-range entry balls.
Mignon works it to Wilson, plays it off for Kohler. Owusu had it for a moment, and now Dartmouth switches it to the far wing. Nifty little chip. Gets Dartmouth past two, but that ball is to the backside and results in the offside flag popping up. For Dartmouth, no clean sheets this season. They've scored 2 goals in 2 consecutive matches now. They had the 2-6 defeat against Cornell at home 2 weekends ago. Come back with the 2-1 victory at Columbia last week. They played a very tough non-conference schedule, so it's something to keep in mind when you see their overall record of just 2-4-3. But they played 2 teams who just last week were both in the top 5 in the nation in the coaches poll with Bryant and Vermont.
Managed a 3-3 draw with reigning national champions Vermont.
In Burlington, too, a very tough place to play.
Yeah, a lot of similarities between these 2 teams on the field. Just a very strong non-conference schedule. Didn't get the results that they wanted, but maybe both peaking at the right time to make a real run at this Ivy League postseason.
Well, and that's the key. Neither side made the postseason tournament last year. Dartmouth has never made it. And Meacham's pass did not have Farouz running on the other end of it. Yale seems to be making a concerted effort now to try to almost bypass the midfield and launch some of those balls across.
Yeah, there is a lot of space in behind that back line.
We mentioned it earlier, but the back line for Dartmouth today, a little different with no Alexi Uno. after the junior from Paris, France, picked up 2 yellows and hence the red card. Ajable could not get to that ball from Zoo. Yale has to make sure, although the Dartmouth's defense is playing high, that they don't get too one-dimensional.
Yeah, I mean, Ajable definitely has some pace, but he's not got that absolute breakout speed. You can't just play everything long. He's a talented player with his back to goal. You got to play it into his feet a little bit more often.
And this Yale program this season has not been one that's thrived by sending through balls, and that's not how they generate most of their offense. And so, of course, you want to take into consideration what the opposition is doing and want to stick to your strengths. Ajable goes down. It'll simply be a throw-in for Dartmouth.
Ajable's taken a lot of contact tonight. Carlos Fernandez has not seen anything that rises to the level of a foul.
And that was the first year from Ann Arbor, Michigan. Benny Rolla-Mullis spent a lot of time playing club soccer in the Tampa, Florida area. He was there on the tackle. Bull again hammers it ahead. But it's directly onto the head of Kohler. And the whistle goes.
This one's interesting. I mean, we've seen a lot of contact that has not resulted in a whistle. This one I thought may be clean, but it'd be great to see a replay here, see if he comes over top of the ball.
I'm with you, Sean. Live, I thought it was a clean tackle. He got the ball first.
Some of the ball. It looks like, though, the contact, he goes over and beyond the ball. Yeah, yeah, that's a foul.
Teague McCammon wearing that challenge.
I think the fact that he did make clear contact with the ball also maybe is the reason he's not in the book. But Muñoz coming over the ball, catching a lot of Meacham.
Here is Sven's left-footed ball. Great location. First header was by Dartmouth. McCammon back towards the goal. But Dartmouth able to take care of it. TJ Jeffries, he hasn't been tested too often. There's only been 1 shot on goal thus far amongst the 2 teams. And it was by Yale. Jeffries made the save. There haven't been grade A chances thus far. Dartmouth with possession. Into the middle, some room for Bilden. Down the wing, Wilson across all the way through. Eventually that hit the knee of a Yale Bulldog, and it'll be a corner for Dartmouth. Bilden will come off, as will Douglas Arvahar, as Dartmouth, well, they're preparing to make subs, but they don't want to make it right now, it appears.
Interesting. They were trying to make it during Yale's free kick about 30 seconds ago.
I guess they like the unit they have on right now for this offensive set piece.
Trying to get Eider Balvinson on.
We've not seen him yet, which we knew coming in, even though he was the player to watch for Dartmouth. Doesn't always start. Hadn't started against Columbia, and once again, not tonight.
It's a mosh pit in front of the goalkeeper.
Everyone's inside like the 3-yard line, if that were a thing. Good pressure by Miller to disrupt Dartmouth's ability to put it back in the mixer. And it will be Yale possession. And for the 3rd time, the horn will sound, and this time, Dartmouth will make substitutions. They bring on Ollie Spicer and Eider Baltinson. And as we mentioned earlier, they take off Ben Bilden and Douglas Arvahar. Baltinson will take Arvahar's spot right at the top of the formation. Dartmouth with a 4-2-3. And Ollie Spicer, it's no surprise to see him in the match. He typically, well, he's started about half the matches this year for Dartmouth, including against Columbia last weekend.
Spicer likes to sit in that role just underneath that central forward. You know, you get a big guy up there like Balvinson at 6'5", knocks it down Spicer can pick it up.
Spicer, first year from England. He's one of the few guys on this Dartmouth team who is not above 6'2", but you need that difference. There he is with the ball now, trying to chip it past Meyerson and Bull, no success. And Conrad Lee knocks it to the wing, where Meacham does well to play McCammon.
One of the things that I've been most impressed with watching Eider Baldvinsson is just how good and how quick his feet are. Oftentimes when you get someone who is that big, they can be a little bit cumbersome, and he is not. He is very quick and just delicate little touches on the ball, very good in tight spaces.
Baldvinsson, where's number 19? As Yale has one go off the bar, and Farouz could not tuck it home. Bulldogs quickly making something out of what initially appeared to be close to nothing. Just off a quick throw. And all tears with a dangerous
I don't know.
ball.
Is that a shot, do you think, or you think he's trying to serve it across?
I think he's trying to serve it across. No, maybe not. He took a quick peek at goal before shooting it.
Maybe. If it went in, I'm sure he would have claimed it.
Happily. Bull stymied by Baldvinsson.
Good recovery from Bull, but that was very risky.
Eider Baldvinsson, we've talked about it. He's got good speed, and that time it was a very good understanding of getting to the spot defensively. Here's a deflected ball that Yale knocks away.
Uh-oh.
Zoo could not get there in time.
Mullis had to launch that one. If he didn't get there first, if he had lost that race, Zoo would have been in.
And Mullis was able to deflect it off of Zoo's foot on the way. Benny Roland Mullis with possession now, gets it back from Magnon. Rolls it across, and Dartmouth will see what they have on the left side. Good ball towards Kohler. Some room on this right channel. Up the wing, Kohler goes. Wilson tried to slip past Meacham, and Meacham got the best of Wilson that time.
There goes that battle again. We haven't really called Wilson's name much, and I think that's a tribute to just how dangerous Meacham has been. Meacham's had him kind of penned into his own end.
Farouz's pass was a little weak, but Yale able to take it right back. Ajable, nope, could not get there in time. Jeffries confidently came out with a slide.
And that's really good defending from Mullis and really good goalkeeping from Jeffries, because that ball was measured perfectly from Farouz, just over the shoulder of the center back. Great work between the goalkeeper and center back, because Ajable really could have been in on that one.
Mullis finds Kohler. Each team, as most soccer games go, they've had their few minutes where they're possessing for some substantial time, but not able to make the most of it. Foul goes against Dartmouth there.
Baldvinson's such a handful. Took two Bulldogs to get him off the ball there. Would have been a corner kick if Yale wasn't awarded the free kick.
And sometimes that's what happens when you're 6'5". If you're involved in contact, yeah, you might get called for the foul more often than not. 4 goals this season for Baldvinsson. He had 2 goals and assists and an assist last year, excuse me.
Yale readying Sebi Roy down there at the scorer's table.
Along with Aiden J. and Nathan Harmon. As Miller could not get through the defense. And Nick Miller is then called for the foul afterwards. Good defending by Dartmouth on the left wing. Raphael Opong Owusu, the sophomore from Ghana. He's done a good job on that side, keeping Yale quiet. As Yale brings off the 3 players to make their trio of substitutions. Nick Miller departs, Billy Altiers, and Joseph Ferruz as well. Again, Roy, Harmon, and Jay, the 3 who come on for Yale. This Yale team still trying to figure out how to best utilize Sebi Roy. The talented first year. He's started some matches, has come off the bench in others, hasn't played a ton in a couple. That's part of the process. It's not just players have to get used to the system in place, but also the coaching staff have to get familiar with where players are most comfortable and where they can thrive in this particular system. Roy right now is at that center forward spot. Yale moved to Jablay. Well, that's him defending there in the right midfield position.
I would not be at all surprised, Jacob, in this case, if Roy losing out to a Jablay in that starting lineup. It might be something that the coaching staff wanted to attempt specific to this opponent. Roy's done a really good job up there. Will continue to earn significant minutes. Jablay moved back out to the right where he's been whenever Roy's been up top.
Mullis will use Jeffries with Roy applying pressure. Just over 9 minutes to go. The shot's currently 3-1 in favor of Yale, but Dartmouth has had all 3 corner kicks to this point. Elsewhere around the Ivy League, Harvard defeated Brown 4-2 up in Cambridge.
Yale moving into what looks more like a 5-4-1 now. You wonder if that's an adjustment based on the introduction of Baldwinson into the game. Maybe not that factor alone.
But we've seen Yale go to a 5-back system many times this season. This is not unfamiliar for the Bulldogs. Wilson not able to receive the pass, and Zhu draws the foul.
Draws is right. Zhu was looking for that all the way.
He's very good. We've seen this year at getting in the right position to work almost like a self-dummy, draw a foul. It's clever.
It's just like basketball players. You clog the lane, you take the charge.
Exactly. Meacham preparing to take this set piece. Zhu checks as a short option, but Sven goes long diagonally. Ooh, Dartmouth could have numbers here. Baltinson into the middle. His pass didn't have enough on it. And although it wasn't pretty from Yale, they were able to chip it away. They turn it right over, and now the Big Green have it again. And there's a foul called on Nathan Harmon.
Sending all the big bodies forward. They thought the last set piece was a little bit tricky to deal with. Now they've got Baldwinson in there.
Makes it even more tough. And the word from Bo Oshani is he wants Panayotis Karayorgis to take this instead. Ollie Spicer had been lined up. Owen Bull first to it with his head for Yale. Dartmouth lofts one ahead. That will be a corner kick. Wasn't anything Conrad Lee could do there. Just did not get the defensive header he was looking for from his back line. So it's the 4th corner for Dartmouth. They average about 2.25 corner kicks a match this season. This one's driven hard, and the header's over the bar from Baltinson.
Oh, he's going to want that back. You can see the hands on the head. He's probably not going to want to dwell on this for long, but he's not going to get too many more clean looks than this. Inside the 6-yard box, I think he just mistimed his jump. He managed to shake his defender. That's Bull's assignment all night long. 6'5" on 6'5".
I also wasn't sure if perhaps it skimmed off of Bull's head a little bit right in front of him, making it elevate. And right now, Andrew Meyerson and Conrad Lee will have a bit of a one-sided conversation with Carlos Fernandez. Well, the Yale guys are getting to add their piece.
If I had to guess, this is a conversation about next time there's a set piece in the box and there's a crowd in front of you, you're going to have a little bit more of a microscope on what you're doing with your hands and seeing that gesture of the shoving. Man, I got to tell you, as a goalkeeper myself, what they will do in front of you is just, sometimes it's not moral. The things that they will do to your body while you're standing there helplessly in that crowd, you've got to use your arms to clear some space for yourself.
Yale made a substitution, and one of their earlier subs, Harmon, has it on the right wing. Across the box, and Dartmouth got there first. McCammon misses the field goal wide right.
We talked about those chances that McCammon gets. That second ball, the failed clearance. He stepped into that one with intent, but not the cleanest swipe through the ball.
By the way, Caleb Layton now into the match for Yale at the left back spot. They took out Sven Meacham. That was while the center official was having the conversation with Lee and Meyerson. Oh, Yale had a great opportunity to probably have Sebi Roy settle that with his chest. He tried the head flick, and it didn't work. Under 5 minutes to go in this first half.
That halftime highlights package isn't going to be something that'll live in our memories for long. But like I said, we knew this was going to be a stodgy affair. Every moment is intense, but not a lot of quality chances yet.
Certainly not. And, oh, TJ Jeffries is hurt. The goalkeeper for Dartmouth, on his last boot down the field, it was not a well-struck ball. I didn't notice him live, like how his body reacted, but my first thought was, ooh, that punt was not a good one. Excuse me, the goal kick.
Yeah, and you can see him covering his face right now. I don't think that Jeffries is going to be playing the second half tonight.
Yeah. It was right after the Teague McCammon blast that went high and wide. It was the subsequent goal kick.
Both teams coming over to the side, getting a little bit of water, a little bit of instruction from the coaching staff. The way Jeffries went down, the way he's holding himself, he's going to need some treatment.
And for Dartmouth, well, they are familiar with there being a different man behind them in the goal. It's not like Yale, where Conrad Lee has played every single minute. But you still never want to see any of your players go down, especially your goalie. I was just thinking, Sean, how in the first 10 minutes, it felt like Yale had a lot of combination play building up down the left channel. That's kind of gone away as you see Konstantinos Delis getting prepared. Is it, in terms of Yale's approach down this left wing, did Dartmouth make a tactical change that you noticed, or did the Bulldogs simply just try to explore other options and haven't gone back to it?
I think it's more the latter. It's a little bit of, you know, those two strengths were canceling each other out on this flank. But also the introduction of Baldwinson up top and Dartmouth's kind of changing their tactic to playing more long ball. Yale had to make a couple of adjustments to be able to absorb that.
And so with 4:25, Dartmouth coaching staff, well, they help TJ Jeffries to a seated position right now.
And as much as Jeffries wouldn't want to hear this, if you're part of the coaching staff right now, as you're trying to care for your player, you know, these are guys, you see them mature, you see them trying to live out their dreams, their hopes. and you've really got to be there for them in this moment. But you're also probably kind of cheeky saying, take your time, buddy. We need to get the other guy ready. If you're coming off, let's give him a chance to get himself ready. I'm actually shocked that it's taking this long to prepare.
He's walking off now with the athletic trainer, Molly Prisboki, in her 4th season. Well, Jeffries looks a little distraught there. You feel for the first year, given a 2nd consecutive start after really helping save the match for Dartmouth last week. You said it earlier, if he had played a clean game today, probably would have been the starter for most of the year. Instead, he comes off.
We'll see if he's able to get back next week, injury or not. I mean, Dellis now with a golden opportunity. Again, I'm shocked. I hate to be too critical, but how on earth is he not more prepared to go into this game? If you're the number 2 goalkeeper on the roster, part of your job is to just be ready for 90 minutes, knowing that you probably won't be called upon. But here we are 5 minutes later, and he hasn't even gotten his full kit on.
It seemed like he didn't have his jersey on. And by the way, the locker room is directly behind the team bench. So if he left something in the locker room, he could have gotten to get it in 9 seconds or so.
No, your job is to be ready to go immediately. And he had plenty of time. He could have been taking some reps. Instead,
absolutely.
He's strapping on his boots.
He hasn't gotten to warm up his hands, his feet at all. It's not necessarily something I was proud of, but before varsity soccer, I spent 3 years as a backup keeper before becoming the starter. And yes, anytime I saw my keeper go down, I had the cleats on, had the gloves by my side. You throw them on, you have a teammate warm you up just in case.
100%.
But Konstantinos Dellis, well, he's still putting the gloves on, but he's jogging out there now. Number 00, the sophomore from Athens, Greece. This will be his 7th match of the season. He had started all 6. You saw his stats pop up a moment ago. Last year, he played just 1 match in his first season, and that was a full 90-minute affair against Massachusetts, an eventual Elite 8 team last year.
Well, he's got 4 minutes and 25 seconds. If he gets through that, he'll have the entire halftime period to get fully warm.
Now he's doing his stretches. If you had your full kit on a few moments ago, you could have done more stretches.
Watch him go out there and put on an absolute blinder. No, that'll get those 2 guys in the booth to shut up.
Someone else for Dartmouth is going to take this goal kick.
Yeah, no, he's not warm. He doesn't want to pull a hamstring.
He's helping himself from injury. That's very smart. And we're back underway. Zoo battling with a couple big green players. Wilson knocks it down. And eventually it comes to Zoo.
As we're so focused on the goalkeeper situation, you know, the other 21 players out there have had a lot of time to chat. That's a really long break there. 4-minute sprint to end the first half. Let's see if any of the words from the coaching staff can generate some offense.
Right now, there's been a lot of players going to the ball on both sides since we resumed. Dartmouth looking for room, and they find it on the right side with Kohler. Kohler guides one ahead. Yale knocks it right back to Dartmouth, who return the favor. Mullis will use Dellis. Brings the ball to a stop and rolls it forward to Owusu, who plays it out to the left side.
Owusu's been steady Eddie in there. He's been kind of quiet. You know, somebody who isn't watching the game closely probably wouldn't have him down as one of the players that had the most impact on the game, but if you've been watching him specifically, he's been very, very important.
Great touch by Kohler. Wilson, first time ball towards the back post. Goes past the 2 leaping men, and Yale plays it away. McCammon out towards the wing. Roy could not make the connection. with Aiden J. So it's a Dartmouth throw with 2:22 remaining in this first half. Ooh, a job play. Looked like he lowered the shoulder. Dartmouth plays that up and over. It's just going to be a goal kick.
I think he's a little bit lucky there. Fenton had gotten forward. Gets the better of a Ajable with the contact. If Fenton maybe were more of a forward playing player, would have the instinct to just go down. Instead, goal kick Yale.
Those defenders, they know very well you can't be embellishing too much, because then you're really putting your team in trouble. Sam Fenton, one of those players who had to take a little bit of a larger role this season, and especially today with the absence of Alexi Uno, serving his one-game suspension for the red card. Zoo keeps it in on the touchline. Cuts centrally. McCammon with 70 seconds in this first half. Ajable over the head of Jay. And Aiden Jay trips on the soccer ball, and Dartmouth takes it away. There is Owosu. Jay, though, has it again. Ajable back to Jay with 50 remaining in this first half. Caleb Layton, the first year from Arlington, Virginia, rides the challenge and played it to no one.
Yeah, and that to me shows just a little bit of that inexperience. You know, Layton has had some really good minutes this year. He's showing as a good player for the future, but a more senior player is going to feel that contact and know that he's not getting anything from it. He's got to just hold on to that ball.
And that's the big key, is the clock will be stopped here for Carlos Fernandez to tell Konstantinos Delis to hurry it up. But you saw the shot our crew just got of Layton adamantly saying, I got fouled, there was contact. This is his first time going through conference play.
Yep.
There is often a difference in how things are officiated in non-conference versus conference.
100%, and we've all seen the previous 45 minutes. You know, Carlos Fernandez isn't calling those things.
And it's part of the learning process for first years. What lessons will be taken from the first 45? Well, we will talk about it in a few. Scoreless between Yale and Dartmouth after the first half of action from Reese Stadium here in New Haven. Halftime coming up.
unparalleled because you have both sides. You have fierce academic competition, but then on the football field, you're going up against some of the best guys I've ever seen in my life.
Probably all of us.
Sitting perfect now at 4-0, 12 points. I think it's almost inconceivable that they don't finish in first at this point. Cornell could maybe catch them. Penn, we'll see. But it could be very similar to last year. Princeton, Cornell, and Penn wrapping up those third spots with a little bit of clearance beneath them and a gap and a couple of teams fighting for that fourth position.
That Brown loss certainly huge for both of these programs as the second half is underway, and it begins with a foul 16 seconds in. Yale wearing, again, the gray jerseys. Dartmouth wearing the difficult-to-read forest green jerseys.
I was enjoying watching the broadcast last week with Sal Rosamilia, Lance Meadow, just opining about the green numbers on the green jerseys. And just a tiny little white outline. You know, on the screen there, it looks like, you know, what are these guys talking about? That says 22. I can tell you, from all the way back here, it barely looks like anything is on the back of that shirt.
Yeah, that camera angle did not do you and I justice because it is far more difficult than what you saw there. And our vantage point here at Reese Stadium is a terrific one. We're close to being right on top of the field, but we can see the whole pitch very well. And the Dartmouth kit makers did not do us any favors.
No, they look really snazzy there down front and center when you're 5 feet away. But from up here, very difficult to discern.
I will say this. At least Dartmouth did not put the pinstripes on the back of the jerseys because the backs are a little easier to read than the fronts.
They may as well not have numbers on the front.
No, it's no shot. Get a look at Sebastian Mignon. Got knocked down. One of trio of co-captains for Dartmouth and their head coach, Bo O'Shaughnessy. Mignon chatting with his coaching staff right now. Big green free kick is delivered. Lee thought about coming, he did not. Meyerson got ahead to it for Yale. Dartmouth maintains possession. Floated ahead, Owen Bull first to it. Dartmouth brings it down, that hit a hand. And it's unlucky for, that's Ollie Spicer for Dartmouth.
Dartmouth, it looks like, returning the same squad that finished the half.
They finished the first half with Ardar Boltonson up at the forward position after he didn't start. Ooh, that's a clashing of bodies. All clean there, and Dartmouth settles it down.
You know what, you're right. That is actually the one change that they did make.
They put Douglas Arvahar back up at that forward position, Dartmouth did. Boltonson, he'll come in off the bench again. Well, he's such a weapon, Boltonson, off the bench because you can get those tired defender legs trying to match his speed and physicality. But there's also a case to be made that Boltonson is perhaps the best goal scorer on this Dartmouth side. Flag goes up against Yale. Joseph Farouz could not come back in time. Here's the Cyprus native, Karayorgis. This team has a handful of players from Cyprus. We've got a few from Greece as well. It's a very international roster for Bo O'Shaughnessy. Foul called, and then there was contact afterwards. The
Yeah,
foul
the
was...
afters might have been a little naughty, but Arvahar, just a very clear and obvious clearing out of his opponent with his hands.
I think they... Well, let's see what the official Carlos Fernandez decides to do, because Sebastian Magnon came racing in to have a few words. Magnon had made his way down the pitch, then decided to return and have his teammates' backs. Carlos Fernandez, the center official, he has let players communicate with him.
I think he's done a great job so far. This is a difficult assignment. He's been pretty consistent. I think the calls that he's had to make, he's made.
And he hasn't seemed to get caught up in the emotions that some of these players have. You never want to see officials, again, feel that emotion. And the best ones do not, and Fernandez has been on top of it as Nick Miller floats a throw in. It'll stay with Yale, and Farouz takes it quickly.
This deep throw-in kind of feels like the closest thing Yale's had to a corner kick so far.
You're exactly right. And Meacham will come all the way over. Well, it is indeed a corner kick.
Corner.
Okay. I, like you, did not see that properly.
Well, I thought that flag was pointed straight out to the side of our linesperson here. Apparently they were pointing it downward.
We didn't have the angle to see it as Meacham prepares an in-swinging left-footed ball towards the back post. It's claimed by the 6'5" goalkeeper Konstantinos Delis.
Delis absolutely has the advantage in those situations. Hate to say Jeffries at 6'2" is, on the smaller side at all, but 6'5", those arms can reach quite high above all of those heads.
And for those of you who tuned into our broadcast just now or during halftime, Konstantinos Delos, he did not get the start in goal for Dartmouth today. It was TJ Jeffries, but he suffered an injury in the 41st minute, so he departed then. And so Delis plays now in his 7th match of the season, first coming in as a reserve. Magnon is playing a little deeper than he did in that first half. Long vertical ball trying to spring Farouz. He's tangled up with Mullis. They continue to work on each other. And it finally goes out. Oh, they got Farouz with a foul at the very, very end of it. Nope, it will be a throw. It's funny that Carlos Fernandez ruled the throw-in at the end of that because his AR never did on that side. It would have been an inconsistent foul call. Dartmouth trying to race forward. Zaffanello got in the way initially, and Yale bops it ahead. There's room for Dartmouth on this left wing. Battle between Fenton and Miller is won by Miller. And Nick lays it off for his captain, Diego Zaffanella. Yale has come out in this second half with a combination of guys who started the first half and who finished the first half. It wasn't a unit as a cumulative that we saw in that first half for very long. As here's Owusu. Rolls it centrally. Kohler with a couple touches. Now furthers his pass to Wilson. Vaughn Osga in the game now for Yale, as here's a drive that just misses for Dartmouth. Seemed like James Wilson took it upon himself there.
Indecision in these moments gets punished all the time. I think Osga tried to do a little bit too much there. It falls to Wilson, and he does not hesitate. Smashes it off the woodwork.
For Vaughn Osga, it's not the start to his match day that he would have liked. Did not come in the first half. But starting this second half, Wilson Absolutely rocketed that shot, but could not keep it on frame. Right now for Yale, there's no Simone Ajable. Both these coaches just trying to figure out the right combination of players to begin this second half and find the icebreaker. That pass will roll out before Dartmouth could get on the end of it. Sam Fenton wearing number 33. He's listed in the roster as 24, the senior from Mount Laurel, New Jersey. As a first year, an All-Ivy League honorable mention player. Yale's going to go short here off the goal kick.
Meyerson pretty far upfield.
Tried to find a cross towards Harmon, but was unsuccessful. Dartmouth possesses on the far wings. Meyerson, again, is sitting rather high right now. But it will be a big green throw. For Dartmouth, part of what they are trying to find this season, they're trying to get consistency. They have not yet this season put together back-to-back quality performances. And it's something you have to deal with when you have injuries, when you have new players, new rosters. You want to limit those peaks and valleys as much as you can. And for both those teams, it's true. Non-conference play was an opportunity for these sides to really figure out what you're made of, how you can best play. But conference play is where you have to get results.
And every single game is a grudge match. You get 7 matches for your body of work.
Dangerous in the box, Bull, it comes down. Yale cannot put it home, and it's fired over the bar in the end.
Offside as well.
Indeed, the flag came up, so it would not have mattered. Good catch, Sean. But that's the most threatening that Yale has been tonight.
Owen Bull is a handful in his own right, isn't he?
He is tough to handle. Yep.
Both center backs involved on that one.
You just mentioned how Ivy League play is a grudge match. I believe the term that Coach O'Shaughnessy used was soccer on steroids. There's a little extra energy, extra juice when any Ivy League opponents play each other.
And a little bit of extra rage, perhaps.
Yes. Excellent step at the last moment by Kohler. Yale wants to get the switch on. Struggling to find it as Ozga's wearing the wrong color socks. Rocking the black socks.
Interesting. I don't know that I've ever seen that at the collegiate level.
Or maybe they're just navy blue. Actually, you know, now that I look, most of his teammates are wearing short navy blue socks. Perhaps he's just wearing the long navy blue socks.
Got it. When you said that, I was in disbelief. But yeah, most of these guys have their socks down below their calves, so.
Played across to the back post. Hit with a little too much mustard on it by Yale.
I'll be the old guy yelling at clouds for a second. I watched one of my best friends in college soccer attempt to score while a center back attempted to clear the ball and split his tibia and fibia in 2. Now, if he hadn't been wearing a shin guard, I don't even know what could have been worse. But to not actually wear any shin pads, I just don't understand that. Easy for me to say as a goalkeeper, I'm not running for 10 miles a game.
But also, if you do it frequently enough, you imagine you get comfortable or at least familiar with it.
You'd think.
Shin pads, at least the mentality of wearing them seemed to be from at least a decade ago at this point.
One thing I do like that they're doing now is basically they're cutting the bottoms out of their socks, and then they'll wear either like a grip sock or some other sock that's a little bit more comfortable and more conducive to the way they want their foot to feel inside their boots. I do like that trend. I think that's a smart development.
You want to make yourself feel as comfortable as you can. Hence why they go no shin pad or limited shin pads.
Yeah, I had another teammate used to take a pizza box and stuff a little piece of cardboard from it inside his sock and call it a shin guard every game.
You see, to me, that sounds less comfortable.
Pretty lightweight, though.
That is true. Although nowadays, those shin pads are pretty small and light themselves.
Yeah. Mostly made out of foam, high impact foam. All right, back to the game.
Our shin pad soliloquy complete. Yale possessing out of the back in front of a pretty large and rather lively crowd at Reese Stadium. Two different youth clubs were here walking out with the sides during starting lineups pregame. Got to play during halftime on the Reese Stadium field as well. This is a Reese Stadium that, for some opposing teams, it requires a bit of an adjustment as Dartmouth's called for the foul. That's Mignon. But for Dartmouth, their associate head coach, Trevor Banks, he was an assistant here at Yale as recently as last season for Kylie Stannard. And he gets to return to New Haven to take on his former club. But even with that connection, Dartmouth's head coach, Bo O'Shaughnessy, he admitted to us, not a great playing surface. He was not a big fan.
Well, you know, I think you compare it to other surfaces around the league, and it stacks up well, but you compare it to a proper grass pitch, of course not.
Which is what they have up at Dartmouth. It's going up to claim is Dellis. Burnham Field in Hanover. It's a grass surface. Dartmouth will be back there for their next Ivy League match on Saturday when they host Penn. They do have a non-conference game before then. They go to Fort Rudd and Amherst, Mass. to play against the Massachusetts Minutemen. UMass just had a surprising loss today against Oral Roberts 2-0 in Summit League play.
Wow.
2 goals in the final 20 minutes for Oral Roberts in Amherst. That'll be Dartmouth's next opponent. They want to get points here first. Crossed, and no one there for Dartmouth. Still, neither goalkeeper has been extremely tested as we approach 61 minutes gone by.
Yeah, and I'd say thus far in the second half, it's continued to be long ball after long ball, a lot of bypassing of the midfield, and I think that's playing into Dartmouth's hands.
Well, and once again, I go back to what we talked about at the end of the first half, which is from Yale's offensive perspective, where's the interchange with Meacham working with Zoo or other players on that left side? It just has not been there. Now, Angelo Zoo's not in the match right now, so that could be part of it. But we saw Meacham with the ball on his foot a lot up the left side offensively for Yale those first 10-15 minutes. And it has not been as present really ever since.
Well, the game is often divided into thirds. You know, we had the first 30 where Yale was very much on the ball, very in control, setting the pace. The second 30, which a lot of adjustments were made. We saw the introduction of Baldvinson for one, and a much more long ball affair. And we'll see what happens in the last 30, what changes are made.
Heavy pressure coming from Jay, but Mignon sprung it to the back.
Right on cue, Angelo Zoo about to check back in.
He and Teague McCammon standing at the center line with the fourth official. I was a little surprised to see Von Osga start this second half for Yale just because it's pretty rare to see players who don't play at all in the first half come into a tied game to begin the second half. Kylie Stannard he was hoping Osga could provide a spark. So Yale hammers it towards the far post. That went over both players, and Yale keeps it in. Nick Miller, they've got 2 players on this side. Yale tried not to take advantage of it. Zaffanella rolls it through. First time shot. Was struck poorly by Jay. He got on top of it, and it's back to Zaffanella.
I love the rare opportunity when Zaffanella gets to go forward. You get to see his quality as a passer. Everyone was expecting that long diagonal service, and he spots the run from Jay.
Nifty pass from Harmon. Miller, low across. And did it take a double deflection? It did. It's a corner kick for Yale, although the Big Green disagreed.
Seen Farouz score more than one with that little back heel. This one, he's just too far in front of the near post, I think, to be trying that. You know, it's a great service from Miller, spots the run, but you really shouldn't be trying that unless you're between the posts.
Perhaps didn't know where he was on the field. Nick Miller will come out as Yale makes their 2 substitutions. Nathan Harmon off as well. Again, Zoo and McCammon come on. Ozga stays on. Altiers stays on for Yale. Second corner kick of the match. Deep ball towards the far post, and that's exactly what you were talking about in the first half. No one there for Yale in case the ball was overstruck. They do put it back towards the 18. Zoo settles it, has an option to his right. Make that Meacham, and he wins another corner.
Very strange to see Meacham and Zoo on the right side of the field. But just the way that the recycling after the corner kick went.
They have Meacham take the corners no matter what side they're on.
Oh, excellent from this side with that left-footed in-swinger especially, even more dangerous.
And the clock will be stopped. And well, while Carlos Fernandez chats with the players inside the box. Oh, there's a Dartmouth player down.
We saw Fernandez have a word with Conrad Lee, the Yale goalkeeper, about some pushing and shoving.
But right now they're
just
all
enforcing
huddled.
the same.
Yeah, they're all huddled around a Dartmouth player who gets to his feet now with a little bit of a limp. That's number 5, Panayotis Karayorgis, the sophomore from Cyprus. Well, we were saying how Meacham great with his services from this corner kick. Well, they've switched things up. They're going to go with the outswinging ball from Aiden Jay, likely.
Meacham still lined up, though, in the short space. Dartmouth's got 2 players there, though, so I don't think they'll play it short.
Jay launches it towards the back post. Owen Bull drew some oohs and ahs from the youngsters in attendance, but it didn't work.
That would have been something.
There's nothing that youth players love seeing more than a 6'5" man try to bicycle in a corner kick service.
That's a 6'5" former All-State striker, so it's not quite as alien as you might think to see a center back attempting that, but you know, I don't think he's going to be thinking about that one. He certainly won't be telling his grandkids about it.
Dartmouth has made the substitution that we expected when it comes to their attack. Eider Baltinson returns. Douglas Arvahar comes off for the Big Green. Zoo lost it to Owusu, then dispossessed. McCammon gets taken out and the foul's called. Good
energy from Angelo Zoo.
Feels like we've been saying that since game 1 this year.
Absolutely. He buzzes around, you know. He just absolutely harasses teams. The moment the ball's turned over, he is right on top of it. And Teague McCammon, good heads-up play from him to recognize that moment of transition and step forward to join him.
Owusu wanted a foul called on Zoo when it initially was transitioning. I thought he might have had a case.
Yeah, I think he had a case, but, you know, when I say he's buzzing around, like he does just enough to be an annoyance, to be a perturbance, but doesn't quite cross the line into fouls for most referees, and tough back-to-back decisions there from Fernandez. Not a foul, yes, a foul, but I think he got both of them right. Not just because this is a Yale home broadcast.
Meacham preparing along with Altiers. It's Altiers who lofts it forward. Getting to it first was Owusu. Bull back in. Jay, and grabbing it was Dellis. The rebound not put home. Dartmouth had bodies in the way. Another shot blocked by the Big Green.
Munyon there, earning his captain's armband, recognizing the danger, sacrificing his body.
And from a goalkeeping perspective, Dellis was not clean with holding it. He had an opportunity to, and now he's gone down. For the second time tonight, a Dartmouth goalkeeper has gone down.
Yeah.
Dartmouth does have 3 keepers on the roster.
Let's see if the third one's getting their boots on or not. But I saw in that last set piece there, I think it was Farouz was really backing into the goalkeeper. I thought was a little bit lucky not to get flagged for a foul there.
I'm with you. It certainly seemed
this is some leftovers from that.
Let's see what we see, because Dellis, he certainly had to work through contact.
Maybe I'm being a little unfair to Farouz. He's just going for the ball. He gets kind of nudged in the direction of Dellis.
Dellis received the contact right in the midsection, it appeared, or his left knee, too. He's back on his feet and will stay in the match. With 22:40 remaining. Once more, Yale fires it over everyone horizontally in the box. Meyerson makes the connection. And then Yale turns it over, unable to handle the Dartmouth pressure.
Meacham looking for a call there. It hasn't been a call all night. It's not going to be a call now.
Big Green have not had much in the past dozen minutes or so of being able to generate offense, but they draw a foul on Aiden Jay. It's Will Lolka who earned it. And another stoppage. And now the clock will stop. I'm not sure what this delay is about.
Mullis is complaining about some continued injury. It might be a shoulder thing.
Yeah. But at this point, Carlos Fernandez has already stopped the clock. Let's see what we see. Mullis. Oh, there he is down at the back. He's grabbing his right shoulder. And then that was the foul on Jay.
Yeah, I think it's the right call on the foul on Jay, but Mullis grabbing his shoulder from a contact maybe 20 seconds prior, 10 seconds prior.
And we've talked about it a few times, but this Dartmouth defense, they are already shorthanded with Alexi Uno serving his red card suspension. Mullis will go forward now as a tall option. Of course, the ball comes close to finding him.
Oof, Bull really climbed the ladder on that one.
He is excellent vertical on his jump. Looks like Dartmouth is trying to slow things down a little bit here. Karayorgis will leave the throw for Lolka. Foul called at the end of it against Dartmouth.
That's Spicer, and he got the worst of it. But, you know, he did stick his leg in there as Meyerson's trying to clear the ball. It's brave, it's courageous, and he's paying the price for it.
In the first year, he did not have a word of gripe. He understood, yep, probably deserved that one. And I mean the foul, not, of course, the knock. Both these teams, as we've seen now, almost 70 minutes of action, they continue to strike me as very similar programs. They've got some very exciting young guys. They've got some older veterans who help stabilize things. They seem to be at similar trajectories when you look at the past few years as well, where they're each trying to find a way to make that leap into the top 4.
Yeah, I mean, add an elite goal scorer to either of these squads, and they're going to pick up 6 more points at a minimum, maybe even 7 or 9. You know, Dartmouth, of course, also dealing with Trenton Blake out for the season. It was 6 goals for them last year, second team All-Ivy. So that's a piece of the puzzle that they could have right now, were it not for injury.
Yale plays it across. It'll go off the head of a member of the Big Green, resulting in a Yale throw. That Blake injury was certainly a tough one because he has 9 goals, 10 assists to his career name. It's not just you want to have talented goal scorers. If you can have some veteran talented goal scorers who know how to just capitalize on the one moment in conference play that it might come to you.
I'll take a look at Princeton with Daniel Itticheria.
Yale dangerous, but they couldn't keep it on target.
But Yale, ever since that 30-minute mark about 10 minutes ago, has really been on the front foot again. A lot more interplay, fewer of these long 40, 60, 70-yard balls. But they've got about a little under 19 minutes to try and complete the 3-sport sweep of Dartmouth this weekend.
In fact, the Dartmouth men's soccer team last night, they came down to New Haven and they watched their volleyball team take on Yale. Now, admittedly for Dartmouth, that viewing experience didn't go great because the Big Green got swept by Yale in volleyball. That was last night.
3 straight sets.
Yep. But the Dartmouth team, they said they did have a good time still, just being all together, watching some of their friends and classmates. And this is going to be a corner kick. They ruled it off the head of Aiden Jay in the end. But yesterday, Dartmouth field hockey took on Yale, a nationally ranked Yale field hockey program. In fact, I think I saw Yale goalkeeper Amelie Schwarzkopf in attendance here tonight. And Yale came away with the 3-1 victory against Dartmouth in field hockey, although it was not nearly as clean or as thorough as Yale would have liked. Dartmouth here looking for the icebreaker. And they find it. The Dartmouth Green break through with 17:36 remaining. They capitalize on the corner kick, and Dartmouth has the 1-0 lead.
Well, how do you contain a guy the size of Baldvinson?
The thing is, I don't think it hit him. That's an own goal.
It's off of Meyerson, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
But Baldvinson is there. He's drawing 3 different players. Everybody's worried about him. And Meyerson just a little bit off balance by a nudge there from Baldvinson. Not going to get the foul call on that. Baldvinson in the corner celebrating it. He'll claim it.
Well, it was funny watching his reaction live. You saw it on the replay. He did a twirl, a 360, not knowing where the ball. Oh, it went in. Great. Let's go to the corner flag and celebrate. For Dartmouth, they don't care how that goes in. They will take it either way. It goes in as an own goal. And now, this is the most important 17 and a half minutes that Yale has had in their season thus far. You cannot afford to lose on your home turf in the midpoint of your conference season. With the understanding, Sean, that Yale has to find a way to get a goal, what are the changes that you would make to try to generate more offense?
Well, I think for starters, you're going to need to, well, they have already kind of switched out of that 5-4-1, a little bit more of an aggressive formation. But you got Angelo Zhu here getting closer to goal, and that's a big deal. He was out on the left flank the whole time. He's been more central when he's come back in the second half.
He curls one towards the back post. Contact. Nothing called. And it's a goal kick for... And now we're going to get a card on Meyerson. He said some magic words there to Carlos Fernandez.
You know, there is replay here.
Yes.
And it is reviewable. I think... Personally, for me, given what's been a foul to this point throughout the night, that does not rise to the level. But the referees could go take a look at it if they wanted.
It's the new VAR options. We've seen it used a lot this season for offside, onside. Wait, and the ball's been played in, but Yale was making a substitution. Joseph Farouz coming off, Sebi Roy coming on. Farouz, of course, wanting to remain on the pitch. I'm with you, though, just from what we saw live. And based on how today's officiated, it seemed I'm okay with that not going down as a foul. Konstantinos Delis coming in off the bench today, trying to preserve this 1-0 victory. In goal for Dartmouth. Again, the Big Green have not had a clean sheet all season. Meyerson slides through a couple. He's been willing to truly move forward a bit more frequently today. He gets it off the ricochet. Tried to curl it to Zub. Terrific intercept by Karayorgis, and he draws a foul.
Yeah, Billy Altiers is going to be lucky to escape this without a yellow.
Clock will be stopped due to the injury. Karayorgis did very well to read that pass from Andrew Meyerson. Stepped in at the perfect time. Baltinson got ahead to it. Zhu settles it for Yale, but Dartmouth keep possession. Osuwu laces it across the pitch. And here is Kohler with pace. Up the wing, he finds Wilson. Wilson cutting end line across. It's off the head of the defender, Bull. Kohler again, back to the corner. Wilson, he could not get back on side in time. Perhaps a little bit of a first-year mistake from Kohler there. Just not letting his teammate get back in position. Under 15 minutes to go. Dartmouth leading 1-0. Here come the Big Green. Taking it sideline, trying to keep it in along the touch line. They're saying that did not take a touch. It'll be a Yale throw.
Ben Bilden along that left touch line from New Canaan, Connecticut. I have to imagine he's got a lot of family in attendance tonight.
About 20 different arms went up in the air there trying to claim possession. It'll be a Dartmouth throw.
Carlos Fernandez wants to see this ball put in play. Time continues to tick.
Yep, and there you go.
One of those unique features of college soccer. If you feel like someone's killing off too much clock, you can just go ahead and stop the clock.
A lot of discretion is allowed in college soccer for the officials. Some people might say is good, other people might say not so good. Here's Zhu. Sprinting down the right side. Zhu into Roy. Roy's got two options on the far side, but he couldn't get rid of it. But it will be a corner kick for Yale. Terrific defending by the Big Green, though.
Now, this is the very first thing that I disagree with from Fernandez tonight. Yes, corner kick, no penalty, but that's a yellow card. Zhu's about to take off. He's got two guys far side wide open. That shirt pull prevents him from playing the pass. You've got to come back and give the yellow.
Zhu takes the corner kick, in swinging front post. Men go down, and Dartmouth play it safely to the sideline. Clock will stop with a Dartmouth injury inside the box. On that last Yale chance, it didn't even look like Fernandez played advantage, the one you're talking about. But here's the corner and the subsequent injury. Turned into bowling. 4 different pins went down.
Yeah.
And still down is one of the Big Green defenders. I missed the number. For 13 minutes and 7 seconds. Dartmouth has to try to see this all the way through. I'm almost a little surprised, Sean, Yale hasn't gone to the bench during this break just to get some late instructions from their coaching staff on how to change your attack to perhaps find a goal.
Right on cue. And you see Kylie Stannard on the sideline motioning to his guys to get over there.
And that motion maybe helped prompted the Dartmouth player to pop to the feet. And even Conrad Lee coming to join the conversation a little bit for Yale. The injured big green player, it's Karayorgis. He's jogging to the touchline. Kylie Stannard is trying to get his Yale program back to the mark that they were at a couple years ago. They finished tied for second in the Ivy League. They won the Ivy League tournament, the inaugural one, a championship victory against Brown. Made their first NCAA tournament appearance since 2019. But last year was a massive step back. This year, more of the same, and that's a goal kick for Dartmouth. I have a feeling we're going to be seeing a lot of that in the final 12:57.
And a yellow card.
A yellow card, okay. Carlos Fernandez laying down the law. Konstantinos Delis picks up the yellow. Dartmouth had received 19 yellow cards through their first 9 matches entering today. Per the stat sheet, that was their first yellow this evening. Probably not done with bookings if we're really evaluating this match as a whole. Zaffanella to Jay on the near side. Jay, Bull's playing forward now for Yale. He could not quite get there and commits a foul, clattering into Millis.
Well, that's the adjustment that you were looking for. You know, what better option to try and send a defender forward than a center back who used to be a forward?
And you could see the pace that Owen Bull can bring to this Yale side.
A lot of times when the desperation moment arrives and you decide instead of swapping the defender out that you'll send the big guy forward and look for some knockdowns and things like that. But Owen Bull, you know, you've got a guy who's got the patterns down. He knows how to make the runs, how to time them. So that'll be interesting to see him getting to play as a forward.
Zhu's pass was deflected due to a foul on Magnon, who looks skyward in disappointment. And Dartmouth will pick up their second yellow card. It's a delay of game sportsmanship on James Wilson.
Yeah, Wilson knew what he was doing. He knew he was going in the book as well.
The thing is, with the officials having the ability to stop the clock at their discretion, there's not a ton of value to rocketing a ball down the pitch following a foul.
No, not unless you're trying to prevent a dangerously quick restart. I agree.
Here's Conrad Lee to take this set piece. Butterflies it forward. Dartmouth able to get it out for the moment. Aiden Jay probably wishes his leg was a little longer for a softer touch there. Nothing he could do about that to keep it in.
Dallas, having learned the lesson, is going to take a little time, but not too much to get this ball back into play.
There were some fans trying to help out Carlos Fernandez, doing their quickened version of counting out the seconds. Players go down. Jay keeps it in. Dangerous cross, deflected, going up and over, off the head of Meacham.
That's a big chance for Meacham.
I don't think he could have done much more with it because it took that late deflection off the Dartmouth defender.
Yeah, that would have been asking a lot, but what a service from Aiden Jay. Did a great job keeping his balance along the touchline.
And keeping it in.
Serving a great ball.
The shots are now 10-3 in favor of Yale, but they've only been able to put 1 of the 10 on target tonight. Foul called on Yale. That's the 10th they've been whistled for. Dartmouth have been whistled for 13.
Well, I don't know that we're going to see a lot of intricate passing over the next 10 minutes. I think we're going to see a lot of push it and go, get it forward, knock it down, try to knock it in. But I don't think it's going to be a boring 10 minutes either.
Owusu plays it out towards the wing, handball. Unlucky for Wilson there in the end.
And Wilson's got to be careful. That's what I'm talking about. In those moments, that's when it's okay to try and prevent that restart. It's worth the yellow card, but not if you've already got one.
He's a smart veteran player. Knows how to play the game within the game. Jay with a cross. The header was there for Meacham. Couldn't tuck it home. Altiers could not find a shot. Meyerson did well to fend off the two big green defenders. Yale's captain to Aiden Jay. Teague McCammon has taken Owen Bull's spot as one of the center backs. Meyerson, Zoo, chested it towards his teammate, no connection there. Zaffanella right back towards the top of the 18. Dartmouth quick to it, and that looked like some head contact for Zaffanella.
Zaffanella's nose, I'm pretty sure, is bleeding. He's going to have to come off.
He goes straight to the bench. He just handed someone on the bench something.
A tooth?
Tooth was the first thing that came to my mind, because what else would you have that you immediately have to hand to someone? Was there a touch off a big green defender? There was. It will be a corner kick. Zoom might take this quickly. This Reese Stadium crowd stomping their feet, trying to will their home Bulldogs to a game-tying goal. Excellent header by Owusu. McCammon got his defender to slip. Fires one towards the goal, but it was off the mark. And it's a Dartmouth goal kick. Let's see what happened to Zaffanella. He immediately grabs his face. Oh, was that head-on-head contact, perhaps? Looked like he wasn't grabbing his nose, perhaps underneath. He's got something in his left hand right there.
That might be a tooth.
Wow. I think we're playing hockey. Here is Diego Zaffanella wearing some contact, drawing a foul, and likely drawing a card. Clock stopped, and Zaffanella sharing some words with the Dartmouth coaching staff. Yellow card issued to Zaffanella. The fourth official, Danny Marks, he was right on top of it, getting in between Bo Oshoni and Diego Zaffanella.
Yeah, I mean, Zaffanella knows exactly what he's doing here. You know, anybody who takes too much exception to what he did there, it's called a professional foul. He had to prevent the break. He could have done a lot more damage if that's what he was looking to do. He was just making sure nobody got past him.
Dartmouth would love to get an insurance goal here. That ball went over Baltinson. And now Owen Bull. Ahead from Meacham. It took a slight defection. Sven keeps it in, but his touch was too heavy. And it's hammered off the Cogs cage as the throw-in occurs. The horn went, but no, the officials didn't get the subs in time for Dartmouth. Altiers chipped it to himself. Billy Altiers towards the box, and it's claimed by Dellis.
You know, there is still a 6-second rule.
The question was, how legitimate were those verbal seconds from the Yale fans?
It's interesting, right? Because the rule in global football has changed from 6 seconds to 8 with the intention like, hey, we haven't enforced this rule in 25 years since changing it. we're going to change it again, give you 2 more seconds, but this time we mean it.
Yep.
And the penalty for violating that 8 seconds is a corner kick, but that's not been introduced here in college soccer yet.
College soccer tends to be a couple years, not necessarily behind, but, well, yeah, behind.
Yeah, it takes time for those rule changes to go through the committees and et cetera. I don't know if you saw, Jacob, the recommendation come out from U.S. Soccer with a lot of big names signed on to it.
The one regarding collegiate soccer turning into relegation, promotion, losing conferences, etc.
Yeah, there's a lot more to digest. I've only just seen it last night. I haven't really had a time to sit down and read it. I mean, nothing in there is revolutionary and new. They've been talking about this for 20 years. But now U.S. Soccer signing on to it, some presidents of universities signing on to it. We'll see what comes of it. Certainly would be better for the development of these players and the programs.
Zhu looking for a shot. Angelo Zhu had it poked off his foot. Somehow keeps possession and works it to the wing and receives it back where he hammers it into a big green defender. Yale again towards the box. Flicked on and grabbed by Dellis. I do wonder, going back to that previous topic, whether it would make more sense to start promotion relegation at the professional level of soccer here in the U.S. or start it at the collegiate level. I don't know which should come first.
I think that, the thought that I have on that is that U.S. Soccer has pretty much shown that they're not going to take a lead on it. So anyone who wants to institute promotion relegation, it's going to be a subset of the soccer ecosystem, whether that's the USL in the professional ranks promoting and relegating within their leagues or within the NCAA creating something, but it's not going to be top to bottom at the professional level.
Yale was able to draw a foul, but the big green cleared away and now try to clear their lines. Zaffanella over Bull. It's headed across. Dartmouth gets there first, and it's bombed away by Sam Fenton. Teague McCammon, good defending on Idar Baltinson. Under 4 minutes to go. Bull towards Sebi Roy. Cleared away by Dartmouth, and they further it down the pitch. Zaffanella gets the flick from Ozga. Here's Zhu. Zhu with a big touch, has some room. Angelo Zhu strikes it over the bar and wide.
Sam Fenton in there, putting just enough pressure on Zhu.
And yet it was more space than most Yale players have had tonight.
Especially in this scenario with everybody forward for Yale, everyone back for Dartmouth. Just the way that things played out there, Zhu found himself in a surprising amount of space. I don't know if he'll get that again with only 3 minutes to go.
Yale's season requires a goal here in the final 250. Of course, statistically, anything's possible.
Sure.
Both in terms of the season and tonight, but it'd make their lives much more simple with a goal here. Roy came clattering in and commits a foul. Sebi Roy looked a little like a bull in a china shop there.
It's really hard to resist. You're desperate, but just lashing out in desperation like that, and they're going to lose a whole minute off the clock with this. You see Sam Fenton with some words there for Karayorgis. Some strategy.
Dartmouth's probably going to try to keep this in the corner. Oh, but they lost it. Altiers with room centrally. Meyerson seemed indecisive, keeps it on his boot, and just continues to dribble. Now Zaffanella. Jay. Centrally towards Bull. He and Mullis were tangled up. Zhu could not find the proper pass. And Dartmouth unwisely just played that to the touchline. 85 seconds remaining. Aiden Jay hit his own teammate.
No teeth were knocked out in that collision, however. I really want to get that story.
And Yale would really love to get a goal to make the story even better.
Without a doubt.
Back to goal. Turning. What a save! Konstantinos Delis dives to his right and keeps Dartmouth up 1-0.
What a moment. That had the look of a goal. Sebi Roy really intentional with this turn and hit. Framed it well, but that giant outreaching arm of Delis had the goal covered.
Bo Oshani has talked about needing timely saves from his goalkeepers, whoever's in the net. That was a timely one right there from Delis. Konstantinos looking for his first victory of the season. He came in 0-3-1, and he's 25 seconds away from securing Dartmouth their second Ivy win. Dartmouth fires it towards the corner. 10 seconds to go, and the Big Green are feeling good, although that was not played in the direction they were hoping. Dartmouth launches it up, and the Dartmouth Big Green come to New Haven, and they get themselves a 1-0 victory. The first clean sheet of the season for the Big Green, and Dartmouth gets their second Ivy victory of the year.
Now, it wasn't pretty for Dartmouth. It was gritty. It was a workmanlike performance. But when you fight hard and don't concede, you can come away with a victory on a team on a night like this. Yale very good in the first 30 minutes, good in the last 30 minutes. But if you keep giving Dartmouth chances, you're going to need a couple of goals to make up for that off opportunity. With a big body like Balvinson to deal with, you've got to keep it clean in the back, or you've got to put a few in at the other end.
Bo Oshani said that this match would be decided in both of the 18s. The only goal scored tonight, a 73rd minute own goal by Yale's Andrew Meyerson with Balvinson in the area. That was all Dartmouth needed. For Yale, it's a very tough defeat, but for Dartmouth, this could propel them towards a tournament spot.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get a look at that table at the end of this. Next weekend, I think, is when we're really going to know who's really got a shot at the postseason. But Dartmouth really making a case for themselves with this result tonight.
And so your final score from New Haven: Dartmouth 1, Yale 0. For Sean Meckie and our whole crew, most of whom will work double headers, my name is Jacob Munch.
So Gatorade was invented in 1965, but it took decades for one of my favorite traditions to catch on.
What's that, Eli?
The Gatorade bath.
It's Ohio State, champions of college football.
Yeah, that's sticky sweet. Bang! That wasn't just Gatorade, that was some plastic.
Now, Coach, you've had a few Gatorade baths in your time.
The Florida Gators have won the SEC championship. Coach Steve Spurrier, you better believe he's happy about this one.
How about one more?
Eli, I think it's time you got your first one.
I don't know about that. Thanks, Javon.
How's it feel?
It's so cold. And I didn't win a game, so I think he deserved it.
I'm Eli Manning, and I love college football.
Manning, touchdown!
So I'm going back to school to show you why college football is king.
We're going to set a world record today.
Some of the world's greatest creations, like the MRI machine, the Frisbee, seat belts, 3D glasses, and the internet, were created on college campuses. Of course, the world's most important invention, American football, was born at Rutgers University in 1869. Although, in season 1 of Eli's Places, John Stewart and I found the early version of the game looked a little bit more like soccer and fancy pirate clothes.
Oh, you heard that, man? Yes! So I'm driving to work today. Eli Manning kicks a ball at my Jeep.
I wanted to learn the origin story behind two of college football's most famous campus creations. So I headed to the University of Florida, where my favorite thirst quencher and Gator legend Javon Kearse both became household names.
Who's got him? The freak, Javon Kearse.
The Freak was named the SEC Defensive Player of the Year and First Team All-American in 1998.
And Javon Kearse with the interception.
This is the birthplace of America's greatest invention.
Thomas Edison's light bulb.
No, you don't need lights to play football.
The Wright brothers airplane.
No, we would have figured that out eventually by watching birds.
The internet?
No, I'm talking about something that's led to more fourth quarter comebacks than anything else. I'm talking about a thirst aid for that deep down body thirst. Gatorade.
You're right. I love science.
Gatorade was created in this very lab by Dr. Robert Cade, a nephrologist who worked as an assistant professor at the University of Florida College of Medicine. The Freak and I aren't exactly scientists, so we brought in